So I'm Rob McDermott and own and operate Morenga Palms RV Park in Wenden, Arizona. We're right off of Highway 60, about 3 miles east of Wenden. The family has owned this for close to 30 years. So we're going to keep this business going as long as we can, unless we run out of water and we have to kick everybody out. When the business first started, they had a well and they shared a well with the property to the west of us. It's been going well until our last one went dry. We just had to re-drill an 800-foot well. That 800-foot well is just over $100,000. The water that we get here comes from an aquifer that starts somewhere in Aguila and goes about halfway to between Wenden and Siloam. I don't think anybody really knows how deep it is or how much water is in there. And hopefully that's a study that's going to be coming up so we know what we have left. The ground here is actually sunk 5.5 feet, I think, since the early 90s. So that's an issue as well. People in the area are all, most of them are low income or retired fixed income people. With the water issues, they can't afford to drill a new well. So we're at the mercy of the water out here. Smart water regulation out here is kind of it's a double-edged sword, because yes, we want to stop the foreign companies from farming out here, but this is still a major. Tourism and farming is the two industries for this area. And if you take one of them out, you're not going to have the other. So that is a difficult situation to how we regulate our own farmers. Metering would help, knowing how much that we're actually pumping out of the ground. But if we don't figure out how much we have in this aquifer and how much we're pumping out, we don't have any idea how long we're going to last out here. The replenishment of this aquifer is very limited. I know my water here drops almost 6 feet per year on average. So that's a substantial amount of drop. I'd like to see legislators put forth some effort on the rural areas of Arizona, because right now it's all about Phoenix. What about us out here? We're the expendable area of Arizona. I think they're trying to show that they care, but by their actions, they're not showing they care. I think if the legislators put a fee or a tax on the amount of water that gets pumped out of the ground for farming and put into our tax system in the county, it may sound like a good idea, and it would help out funding different community projects, but it's still not going to help the amount of water that's being pumped out of the ground. I mean, money is not an object to the Saudis. No, it's the fact that our water system out here is unregulated, and that's what they go after. Yes, because we have no idea how much water they're pumping. We have no idea. And they've got a lot of 1,000-foot high output wells, and they're just pumping away. I mean, you don't want to put them out of business either. So, but something's got to be done, and there's got to be some smart people out there who know how to figure it out. But our legislators dragging their feet and pushing it out year after year after year isn't helping us. It's just going to get worse and worse as time goes on. That's the challenge that the legislators are going to have, is not to over-regulate our local farmers and yet regulate enough to the foreign farmers on how they're going to deal with that situation. I think by the state taking some action and not renewing the lease is a step. That's a start, but there's still a lot more work to be done, and it needs to be done quickly. The longer it takes, the harder it's going to get.